fucked up, but hold on.
Yo, yeah. I woke up with ice on, feeling excellent. Tell them put a C on my jersey and my Letterman. I pay rack kids for the tennis shoes, I'm stepping in. I know the ops man, I'm getting money and I'm flexing.
Alright guys, hello world. Welcome to Heartless Chat, episode 3. Before I start, I just want to give a big shout out to the people who took the time out of their day to come here today and do this episode with me. Also to the people who also went on our YouTube channel and subscribe. We're on our way to 100 subscribers right now. So
woo!
yeah. Small milestone, but yeah, we just started 3 months and we're doing pretty good. So let's get into the frivolousness. First question I have for you guys. When you get into a new relationship, is it important for your partner to know your body count?
I gotta say, I'm one of those firm believers. If you don't want to know, don't ask.
Fair enough.
Valid.
That's all it is. If you don't want to know, don't ask. Like, you want to fuck around and find out, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, just me personally, same thing. Just, I don't need to know anything about your past because that's your past. And then if I ask, it's like, it's inviting insecurities just based on like if he talks good or bad about them. And then sometimes if you really care about that person, you want to measure up just to be like, I'm not going to be like that person that let him down, or I want to be better than the person that he was actually with.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like if it's not something you want to tell me, then no. But at the same time, if it does affect some point in our relationship where it comes to a point where you bring up that person, it's just like, okay, do you want to explain? But it's like, me, other than that, it's your past, so you don't have to tell me.
Okay.
Personally, I will bring up my past experiences of like who I hooked up with, bisexual. So I've hooked up with more girls than I have hooked up with guys. I always tell guys that I don't get in relationship with guys. It's mainly just like a platonic, mutual arrangement when it comes to girls. But when I'm with a girl, it's very monogamous.
Okay.
And I just got out of a relationship too, and I would love to pursue that again.
The relationship you just got out of is with a guy or a girl?
Girl, of
Okay,
course.
girl,
Of course.
okay.
It's only going to be with girls. I would love my baby to be raised with two strong women with different ethnicities.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I personally don't think it's a defining factor in who you are, but I'm open to hearing it. But I don't think it defines who you are.
So, okay, I just want to, you meet a guy and he tells you, like, I slept with 150 women. You don't have a problem with that?
Girl. That's a bit excessive. Okay, yeah. But that's a bit excessive. But I feel like, honestly, like, everybody goes through phases in their life where, you know, their insecurity might be low. They might be basing their value off of like sexual experiences or whatever, and I feel like it's not fair to judge somebody off of something that they did in their past because you're dating the person that they are then, not the person that they used to be. So like, as long as they're clean, you know, like, bottom line,
I think it's a lot easier for a girl to do that than a guy because there's so much different standards. Guys and women have two.
That is so not
true.
true.
Have two different standards. Men and women have two different standards.
That is so not true.
Are you saying that women are, like, it's more okay for women to have more bodies, or it's more okay for men to have more bodies?
I heard this analogy once, and I believe in it. Like, I was told that men were born
yes or no
in
question,
the valley, and
William.
women were born at the top of the mountain, right?
Yeah.
Men are judged for how far they can climb up the mountain. That's their value, is how far they can climb up the mountain. Women are judged based on how far they fall off the mountain.
So you're saying that, like, if a woman has more bodies, that's worse than if a man has more bodies?
You
Yes.
say falling
Okay.
more off the mountain.
Why?
What? Okay, so
That's
There's
like-
two different
okay,
standards. Dude,
because you're going off the vibes of like women who they can sleep with who they want, but men sleep with who they can. That's kind of the same.
But men marry who they want, right? And
No,
women only
disagree.
marry who they can.
I don't
and
think-
women can sleep with who they want, but men will marry who they want. And
Maybe
that's how it's-
like then, but not now.
disagree.
Not now.
110%.
Because like now, you know,
Okay.
I could be a working woman. I could have a
Babe,
degree.
can I pause this?
Yeah, go for it.
Who agrees with him and who agrees with like the girl side?
maybe we could have a voting count, but I think we all know.
Let's do a voting count right now.
Me personally, I would just say this. I don't like don't. The only thing I ask is if you're in the vicinity of somebody, just tell me. So that way I know if the person is acting weird towards me.
Oh,
Other than that, I don't really care.
See, but that's different though, because that's not body count. That's who you've slept with. You know. So like, if I come across somebody and I'm like, oh, I used to have a fling with this person, then I feel like I should disclose to my partner, because if I'm going to be interacting with this person,
There's history.
Yeah, there's history. It's different, right? It's not like, oh, it's just some random fucking guy. But like, sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear. My bad.
Sorry,
My
good.
bad.
You're good.
But like, bottom line, like if I have history with somebody, then it's your right to know. But at the end of the day, like how many people I've slept with, it really shouldn't matter, because I slept with them in the past. Like, you know, it doesn't mean that I'm sleeping with them right now. That's bottom line, right? Like, I'm with you for a reason. So sure, I'll tell you, you know, I hooked up with that guy once if it comes up, but like otherwise, what's the point? Because it's just gonna make your partner like not necessarily insecure, but it's gonna make them have their guard up and make them be sussed out and whatever. And what's the point of that if it's not necessary? You know what I mean?
Expectations versus reality.
Yeah, like why bring it up if it's not relevant to what's going on? If that makes sense.
Bree, what about you?
I think like personally, like the sanctification of a relationship these days has been very like scrambled just because of like media and like the way everyone acts towards each other, the way they talk or whatever. And I just think that like when you get with a person and you genuinely want to be with this person and you love this person, you have to like look at more of the mindset that they have going into the relationship. It's not about like I did this, you're bad. It's like the way you think about another person and being with them, like that's what matters. It's not about like, okay, you've slept with this person, so automatically you're a piece of garbage and I can no longer touch you because another penis has been in there, or another, you know, vice versa. But like, you know, it really comes down to just like how you think about like sex and how you think about another person and their body and what that kind of thing means. It's not really about like, you know, it's about how like pure the connection is and like how like meaningful it is. It's not like trash, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so like in other words, just how does this person make you view the world? Is it gonna be bringing you peace? Is it gonna be bringing you chaos? Or is
Maybe
it
that's
gonna
not so much what I'm trying to get across. I think it's more just like how you view like sex and relationships. Is it something that doesn't mean a lot to you? Because if that's the case, then higher body count might not be a good thing. But if you view it as something that's super interpersonal and like love and like your souls are connecting and you're like literally one person, one flesh, then it's like the sanctification of it.
But like say if you had that person, right, and that person ran through all your friends, like she just ran through the whole fucking
well, then I don't
team,
think she's sanctifying.
right?
why the fuck would you be with a bitch who just ran through all of your friends?
That's true.
like,
That's
what I'm saying.
I guess at that point, boys, at that
What about
point you're
your
not
guy
respecting
friends?
yourself.
Yeah.
This boy just
But like bottom line too though, like I agree with what you're saying 100%, but I also think that people change, right? Like the way that I used to view sex is totally different than the way that I view it now. And that's because I had a really healthy relationship. So like, you know, maybe you get into a relationship with somebody and you have those experiences and then afterwards you think about it totally differently because you're like, oh, this is actually, it's meaningful, right? Like it's not just something you throw around.
Before we get into the next conversation, can you explain how the relationship was good for you?
Oh, it was just really healthy. Like I met somebody
How,
who
though?
cares about me a lot and they've never judged me. They've always been open with me. They've always been accepting of me. And like I've got some trauma that I'm still taking care of, but I've got some trauma and it affected me with the way that I viewed sex and the way that I went about that kind of thing. And when I met somebody who accepted me fully and somebody that I was actually comfortable with, not somebody that I was trying to get validation from or appeasing or whatever, anything like that. It just changed my view. You know, like it's like sex isn't something that's transactional. It's something that's meaningful and important. And
Amen.
And being with that person that showed me that. So now going forward, I view sex in a totally different way than I used to, because before, because of my trauma and whatever, I was feeling a completely different way about it. But after meeting this person and having a relationship with them, I see it in a totally different way. Bottom line, and now it has a lot more meaning to me. So I've changed my view, and now I sanctify it in a totally different way than I used to.
Yeah, like sex is such a meaningful thing, and like society just plays it. How many bodies do you have? It's like, dude, like you're literally like, it's the most deepest.
I don't think
that
that's how it is with girls compared to guys. Like,
well, I mean, it's the mindset. That's what I'm saying,
right?
It's
Like,
like
how
how
many-
your person thinks. Like,
How
my
many deep
mindset-
connections can you have with someone before something becomes meaningless?
But that's
Well,
the
I
thing,
mean,
though, right? Like
it's the same thing with friendships.
Yeah, but I'm not fucking sticking my dick in all my friends, you know? Like, I'm not coming
we're
on all
not
my
talking
friends. It's
But
about
gotta
that's
be
the
a
thing, though.
different
Is that's
thing.
what I'm
like,
saying. Is like you eventually you realize and you change, you adjust. That's bottom line. Like people have a type of way, they have a type of opinion about it, and like eventually you realize that it's not just something that you want to give up freely. And maybe it is different for girls and
Lesbian over here.
yeah, girls versus guys. You know what? Like guys are kind of taught that, you know, sex is like a good thing. You know, like dads will dap up their sons because they lost their virginity, but moms will be like, oh my god, what the fuck were you doing, right? Like it's totally different in the way that we're raised, but at the same time, generally speaking, I feel like there is a lot more meaning to it. And at the end of the day, the amount of bodies you have doesn't matter. It's just like, who are you right now? It's not about what you did in your past. It's not about that. It's not whatever. It's who are you right now and how do you act right now? Bottom line.
Let me get Ryan's and Orhan's take on it, and then we could all make a consensus, and then we can move on to the next one.
I think it's always situational. Like, I agree with almost everything that you guys have all said, you know, and stuff, but just like situationally and everything, if it does happen to be brought up with the amount of body count that you or your partner have, I feel like it would be probably in the process of the dating period of seeing if you do actually want to build a relationship with this person and start dating them, you know, and bringing it out into the world a little bit more and making it more public. But yeah, same thing, like how Gabby said, and even like the way that Sass said it, it's like if you don't want to know, don't ask, but I'm like, it's really not that important necessarily if you are choosing to move forward with this person, you know? But, and then same thing with the society and all of that stuff, it also brings into this stupid word that I've been hearing is purity with their women. I'm like, you want this fucking pure woman. Like, what even is that anymore? Because of the society that we've been raised in, it's more like women are more confident within their sexuality and the things that they want to do and the things that they want in life and even, you know, and in the bedroom and everything like that. So I feel like there's a lot of men now who have the old time mindset with this pure girl that they want that is completely untouched, but like that's not the world that we live in anymore. You know? Does that, right?
It's like everyone wants what they can't have. That man wants the pure girl that doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Every girl wants a guy that makes $300K.
Yeah.
But that don't happen.
Right? But it's the same thing. Well, and it's this stupid thing. I've heard this stupid thing too where the girls want the golden sixes and it's 6 feet, 6 inches, and 6 figures? I'm like, it's a valid statement.
I've never heard that one before.
It's a valid statement, you know, but I'm like, fuck, what do you guys want? A pure girl that's a 14-year-old that's been untouched by, you know, now. Like, I don't know what the fuck else you want. Well, but like, you know what I mean, though? Like, that's just, but yeah, so that's kind of my take on that question. Anyways, all you. Yeah.
I think everyone is human, nobody's perfect. Sex is fun at the end of the day for whoever's involved, right? I think if your partner asks you, then you have to respect them and tell them the truth, because like as a guy, if I ran into another guy on the street and he ended up, you know, getting with my chick before and I didn't know that and I just dap him up like that, bro, it just it's not the same. It's kind of embarrassing. It's like, why am I dabbing up
when that should have been a slap?
Not even a slap, but like more just me just being like, all right, I know what you did, so I'm not gonna respect you the same way I respect someone else. You know what I mean?
Imagine that shaking the hands and your bro with the dude that just
No.
It's different.
One of the greatest thing in the world is knowing something that somebody think you don't know.
Yeah.
Me personally,
yeah.
That's why that's why I said if I'm in a relationship, just tell me. And all the people that I've been with learn that. Like if I'm in a relationship with you and we're in the vicinity of somebody, just tell me, be like, yo, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Like 6 months ago, a year ago, I had this relationship with this individual, and I'll be like, yo, that's lying.
So can I say, is it like the past doesn't matter until it's brought to the present, right?
It doesn't matter to me at all, as long because there's a thing that's like body language, right? I know how men think. I can go on Facebook now and see people who in college been in
a lot of situations, right?
In a meeting. They've been in a meeting, right? And they've been in a meeting and they're fully married, and that's cool. But like, if that individual it's like getting with a girl and then three months down the road, you're home alone and you go on Pornhub and you see her pop up.
But that's different though. That's like having sex with somebody is totally different than filming.
That's my worst fucking nightmare.
If you found your girl on Pornhub, that's a totally different story.
I can
be
vouch
like,
for this.
oh, my girl slept
if I'm
with
in a
this
relationship with somebody, obviously everybody takes pictures and stuff exclusively when you're in a relationship. I don't know. For the most part, people do it, right? It's a normal thing.
Yeah.
If I end the relationship with you tomorrow, I'm deleting all your
Delete
pictures.
the photos, yeah.
I don't want to see anything, and I don't want anybody to be like, oh, you leaked this, and no. Everything is getting deleted. You're done. I don't want to see it anymore.
Yep.
Right? I know for a fact, there's guys, I've seen it. They keep that shit like archives.
Yeah.
I know. Check this shit out, yo.
Sad.
And it's
Delete
like, to me, I don't think that is a road you should take. I think if you end something, you get rid of it. And if you're in a relationship with somebody and they're in the vicinity of somebody who they had relations with, just be like, hey, you know, I did this, I did that. And then you move on. And then it's like, the only reason I want you to tell me is because I want to know if the person is being awkward towards me. Mm-hmm. If the person is genuine and they're like, oh, maybe this person sees something in her that I didn't see. Like, you know, congratulations, good luck. But if the person is like, okay, this clown.
Well, and my other thing is what happens if you do end up asking the question and they choose to lie about it? You know, or they feel like they need to lie about it as well.
My grandmother had a saying, and I believe in this shit. She said, everything in the darkness eventually comes out in the light.
Always.
Yeah. And I also caught you when you were talking. Mm-hmm. I heard you say something about intuition. Mm-hmm. And how are you gonna catch the lie in the darkness?
You can tell.
You feel it, bro.
Every single
There's
thing
like hormones and shit too. Like
lied about. I've seen it. It just comes out. The world is so small. You could go and hook up with somebody in Dubai.
Feel it in like your guts, like.
No, I don't feel it. I tell everybody. We were having this conversation earlier. I start everybody off with 100% trust. I don't build trust with anybody. I meet you today. I trust you 100% until you make me feel different about our relationship.
Exact same way, dude.
And then as you go down and you start losing points, you reach the passing mark to pass the test is 60%. So once you hit 60% after dropping down over years or months or weeks or whatever, you just cold cut. Like, you're done. You won't hear from me. I've cut people out of my life. Like, just delete everything.
You're more generous at 60%. That's very generous.
It depends on if it's the same thing over and over and over. Like if somebody tell you, this is not a red cup, it's white.
My only question is, what makes you give you that intuition? Instead of like cutting people off out of your life or giving people these levels of being in your life, what gives you that intuition of knowing what is right or wrong?
Shit comes out. The world is so small.
We can make it a different word, but what is wrong or what is right for you in that scenario?
Consistency.
Actions over words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally just
You could
one
say something to
honesty.
me now. You might be like, you know what?
No,
just
I'm never a
consistency,
rude
man.
person. I'm just
say
like,
you're gonna
I'm
do
trying to like
something and you don't follow
understand
through?
your way of living. Because I appreciate you for bringing me into your home, and I appreciate the whole dynamic. Of course, I have anxiety like everybody else has.
Yeah.
But I have questions. You know, it's not me trying to.
I've learned
You don't.
that if you live your life, I'm always on the watch. The way where I grew up, I'm always like checking my surroundings to see what's going on, right? But if I'm in the vicinity of people, I trust you 100%. I'm not, unless you show me different, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to show me that you're a demon. And once you show me that you're a demon, then I'll cut you out. But if you're a good person and like, I will give you 100% of me. You tell me, hey, send me $10 and I only have $10 in my account, I'm sending it to you because I trust you.
A demon will still send $10, $20, $100 to anyone's account. What makes anyone in your life? What makes them a demon in your life?
Me finding out that they've been deceitful.
So they don't pay you back?
You
I
just
think you're
don't
saying
buddy fuck.
lying.
You don't fuck your friends. That's it, right? You don't fuck your friends'
Yeah.
girl. You don't fuck your friends' finances. You be a good friend. That's right. You stay loyal.
I think that all goes under respect too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think respect goes a lot further than love sometimes.
So I'm gonna move on
Yeah.
to, I'm
You
gonna
can
move
love
on to the
someone and
next
not be
question,
loyal.
guys.
Yeah.
That's hard.
So the next question I have for you all is, where do you all draw the line in terms of age on the dating gap? Like, we know in Canada, for instance, that a person who is 16 years old can legally give consent to an adult to have sex, right? All of us would laugh and we'd shun upon it, but it's law, and the people that we put into power pass that law. So, where do you all see that gap? Where is the line for you? Like, is your line like, I'm not dating anybody younger than 10, older than 10, and why?
I'm gonna say right now.
18. You follow like children are goddamn children. Leave the fucking children
Yeah.
alone. Jesus, if you're a pervert, there's gotta be a whole system else for you. We're not playing this game no more. I'm sorry.
18 is your line.
18. But honestly, when it goes up, hey, like older ladies, like what was that song Van Halen? He's like, I like my girls a little bit older. You know, like fuck up in there, like cougar hunting. I lay a trap line for that shit.
So wait, if you're saying an 18-year-old girl or an 18-year-old guy, you're okay with them dating somebody in their 40s?
Okay. We're gonna go back to the land before time here, okay? I was 16 years old, right? I snuck out of my parents' house, and my parents found out about this shit. It was very, very bad. But anyway, so I went to the fucking Legion with my friends. I was 16 years old, and there was this lady. She came up to me, and we're doing the YMCA together. Like, we're dancing together, YMCA. She takes me back to my friend's grandma's trailer, and she's like, I can drink a glass of water with my legs behind my head. And I'm like, all right, like, me and my friends are like, let's see. We haven't seen anything crazy like that. So she goes and puts her legs behind her head, drinks a glass of water. So, anyways, that was my first cougar.
So sorry.
My parents are like, so, Will, who's Wild Wendy? And I was like, Wild Wendy? I don't know. Like, but, yeah.
I call bullshit on that story.
I got
known
verification, boys.
for
If you see this, you can back me up. You know this shit is true.
No.
Greg Patterson,
I'm calling
Will
bullshit.
Abbott.
I've known him for years. He's lying straight out of it.
No, bro.
I can verify
He
this.
was
Thompson,
16.
Manitoba.
He hooked up with a 40-year-old, but it
call me.
wasn't that. She was still hot.
Was she?
Like, honestly, like, if I were to see it was one of our teachers.
Oh.
I
What
think.
about you, Gabby?
Honestly, just putting myself in my shoes, I'd say like 6 years older is the limit for me. Because I just find that those who are like younger than me, they're not really on the same mindset that I've accumulated myself into growing up. So not shaming them for being on the track that they are, but I just find that just relating to those who have experience or who are gaining experience a little bit further than what I have, I try and, just gather the information back and forth just to either share experiences, gain experiences, or even teach experiences. So not shaming on those who are younger than me, because again, they can learn stuff that I haven't learned before. But I just find that 6 years is just where I tend to just gather up.
How old are you?
23. That's just the information, knowledge that I would just gain from 6 years. But
what are you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing? Nursing, right?
No, I'm in the military.
Military? That sucked.
What about you?
I am willing to listen to her side of story.
You want to pass that question?
I think, I don't know, it's kind of hard to answer because I think that you can really connect with people of all ages. But when it comes to sexually connecting with people of all ages, I would say probably, I think 18 is a good age, like as a minimum to start consenting.
Like
18 and up, like I feel like once you're 18, you're kind of old enough to consent to older people. Once you're if you're still a little bit younger, you're still trying to figure some shit out.
I have a question for you. Your son comes home and he says, hey mom, I found this girl, really love her. He's like, okay, you should bring her home. He brings her home and she's 20 years older.
How old's my son?
He's 18.
Let me show you the front door.
Your son is 18.
I would have to meet her before I give a definite answer, but I honestly think you can connect with people no matter the age. It's just...
And you won't judge him?
I gotta meet her. I gotta meet her first, but I wouldn't go in there with judgment. I would go in there with an open mind, but I would also keep in mind, I don't know. I wouldn't go in with judgment, I'll say that.
I'm not judging, but your eyes look like a fucking roadmap.
Dude.
Honestly, I don't know about the limit, but I think about it a lot. Like when I was in high school, I knew so many girls who were dating guys who were like 3 years graduated or whatever. And same kind of, it changes. Honestly, like after you graduate, after you hit 18, it changes a little bit. But at the end of the day, when I think of somebody who's like a 20-year age gap, or alternatively somebody who's like 3 years graduated talking to somebody who's still in high school, I'm just like, what business do you have speaking to that person? Like, as somebody with your experience at your age, what can you possibly have? Like, maybe it's wrong of me, but in my mind, I'm like, are you taking advantage, right?
I agree with you so
On that,
much.
I agree with you.
Right?
It's
Like,
I agree with you
they
so
have.
much,
It's what
bro.
they don't have, because those guys that are hitting on those girls in high school, it's not what they have, it's what they don't have.
They're
Those
taking
guys
advantage.
can't pull girls in their age group, so they got to be perverts and try and pull on these high school
Yeah,
girls.
so like
glad-
for me, I want to say like I wouldn't date somebody younger than me. Being that I'm only 22, like I feel like anybody younger than me, especially because men's
Takes them a second.
It takes them a second to catch up, whatever. So like personally, I wouldn't date somebody younger than me because I'm not trying to babysit. And I've dated somebody younger than me, and the whole time, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like, oh, I'm like a bigger sister. Like, they're coming to me.
Guy or girl?
It was a guy. They're coming to me though with their problems, and they're like, oh, this and that, and I'm like, like I've been through that. I'm past that point. I'm not trying to do that. I can see your parents' perspective at this point in my life, so I don't get it, But like, bottom line, I'm just like, if I say I was like a 35-year-old woman, if I started dating a guy who was like, let's say like 22, my age, what the fuck would I have to get from him? Like really, other than the fact that he's younger than me and he's good looking.
Good dick.
At that point, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, like he doesn't have his life figured out yet. He's not on track yet. So I would always just feel like I'm taking advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like, I think it's situational. Like some people are really mature. I genuinely feel that, like, for real, some people are more mature than other people. So it is a little bit situational, but at the end of the day, like, if you're, you know, like, I'm 22 right now, I probably wouldn't date somebody who's 32, just on the grounds that I literally don't know what I would talk to you about. Like, hopefully at 32, you know, you've kind of got your life figured out and whatever. At 22, I'm just figuring it out. I'm in my last year of university. Like, I'm just starting, whereas you should be kind of set up by now, in my opinion. Like, not everybody is like that.
Interesting opinion.
Everybody's on their own
opinion.
timeline, but like at 32, like, you should kind of have an idea of what you're doing. Like I said, I'm in school, but at the end of the day, like, I still don't know. Like, I might go to law school, I might not, you know? Like, I'm on the fence about a lot of things. So at the end of the day, I'm like, what the fuck would we talk about?
So scenario.
Are you looking for a relationship or you looking to be single?
Bree tells you, hey, Christmas is coming up. I don't want to spend the winter here. Let's go to St. Bart's.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys go on Google, boom, 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 you buy a ticket, and you go to St. Bart's.
Yeah.
While in St. Bart's, you go to a bar, you meet a guy, and he's like, hey, what are you guys doing later on tonight? And you're like, oh, we're free. We're just here visiting. We're here for a week. And he's like, okay, why don't you guys meet me at this address? You're like, okay, no problem. You meet up at the address, and he has a 52-foot yacht. You get onto the yacht, and you're having the time of your life. Mm-hmm. He's interested in you. He is 38 years old. He has everything. You don't need to go to school. You don't need to work. Are you going to put the 10-year gap in between there? Or are you going to be like, wait a minute, this guy has everything and he's in love with me?
I don't know. I think, again, it's situational. Like, it kind of depends where I'm at, right? Because it's like, if I feel like this person is all set up, like they've got their life all figured out, whatever, and I'm still trying to figure it out, I don't know if I want to be in a relationship with somebody who's got all their shit together, because I think I would feel like a burden. Like,
he tells you figure it out. He tells you figure it out.
Yeah, but like, exactly. Like, I'm not trying to be a child. I'm not trying to be like, oh my god, like, you know, I failed my fucking exam in university, and this guy's like, oh, I just like wired you $10K because I've got my shit figured out. You know, like, I would feel like, oh, you know, like, I don't know, as somebody who wants to be successful in my own regard, mm-hmm. I would love to have somebody who's on the same page. No, sorry. Bottom line, no woman doesn't want a man who's got his shit figured out and who can take care of her financially and whatever. At the end of the day,
that doesn't want that.
Fair enough, but most women are happy to have that, and bottom line, that would be great. But at the end of the day, like, I want to figure it out for myself a little bit too. I don't want to just have somebody who's just taking care of everything for me. Maybe if I was like 32, let's say, or if I was graduated and in my career and whatever, and I met that same guy, mm-hmm. I might feel a totally different way about it. But right now, I want to make my own money. I want to figure out my career. I want to deal with my shit. And I want to be an adult, and I don't want to just have another person who's just taking care of everything for me, because I don't think that's not conducive to growth at all. I think you just end up being an adult child, let's say. Okay. But on the same hand, I'm not going to judge anybody who meets somebody who's rich and wealthy and can take care of them and is like, you know what, I'm going to do this, because fair enough, like, it's a hard world right now. If you can have somebody who's going to take care of everything for you, why would you not do that? But for me personally, I just want to figure it out a little bit on my own before I'm jumping into anything like that.
Respect.
So, like, bottom line, the question is, like, the age gap, how far does it go between the...
Yeah, what is your take on it? Like, do you think there's a line? Where do you draw the line?
Okay. I've been listening, so it's hard to, like, ponder on what I think, but, like, I don't know. Like, if I, like, was home, I have a good relationship with my dad, I love my dad. If my dad has a fiance right now, but, like, say he didn't, and he came home with a girl that was, like, my age, I would be so weirded out. Yeah. So, like,
how old are you?
It flips the whole script. I'm 22. Or 21. I almost forgot, but it like, flips the whole script, like, because, like, when I think about it, like, I'm like, oh, age gaps aren't that weird if it's above 18, and it's, like, to me, it's, like, you know, you guys do you, but, like, me personally, I'll date in my age range, like, you know, like, saying 10 years, you know, around there, once you're past that time point, which I think, personally, for myself, is 20, but, like, it's just, like, so weird to think about if, like, my dad brought a girl home my age, or my mom, You know, or your mom. Imagine your mom. That's weird too.
Yeah.
And then I watched a video earlier, like literally just before this podcast, ironically, and this guy was like, he was 29 and he was dating a 19-year-old, and he asked her like why, like the age gap or whatever, and he's like, it's easier to train them. It's easier to train them when they're younger because you can make them into the woman she wants to be. And she was like all good with it, and then you go in the comments and it's all this controversy in your brain, just like, So it's like hard to like give you like an exact pinpoint of like what I think. But like for myself, because everyone thinks differently. Myself, like I'm dating in my age range. Like proximity, you know, like I want my man to like not be like dying on the deathbed while I'm like still trying to like go to Mexico, you know? But yeah, like it just weirds me out when I put scenarios into the situation, but like yeah, I think it's just weird. Just don't date anyone like underage, like Sassy Boy said. Yeah.
Sorry, going off that though, if I brought somebody who was like 40 home to my mom, I'm pretty sure she will whoop my ass.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, I'm a grown ass woman, but if my mom if I brought somebody who was like my mom's age to my mother, she would probably disown me. So like,
my mom had to keep her friends away from me.
Yeah, well, that's the joy of being a man, I guess. It's different.
This is why I have the stranger danger rule. My mom, she instilled the stranger danger rule to a T. Because when I had my first job at 18 at Canadian Tire, I was making friends with all of these guys, never knowing their ages. So when it got to the point where I'm hanging around this 30-year-old, which I didn't know about at the time, and I'm like 17. I'm just like, okay, I'm about to, have a friendly encounter. And then my mom, she always has this interrogation. She's like, who you going with? I'm just like, his name is, so-and-so. And then she automatically has the FBI list, just like, how old is he? What has he done in the past? And then blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The minute there's something ticked off her list, it could be something minor. But she's just like, no, you're not doing it.
It's a good mom.
Yeah, so she...
A condemner.
Yeah, so going back to that situation, he was like a 36-year-old. Turning out he was a creep, trying to get me alone just to like hang out in this certain place and, play words and stuff. My mom caught that on an instinct the minute she saw that picture of him. And then she's just like, no, you gotta cancel that. You gotta make a random story like your dog ate chocolate, so you can't go. And without a doubt, I trusted her because growing up sheltered, like I don't meet a lot of people, so my family was just my whole world, my circle, my support system. And then just knowing that they're not really giving me cheating codes, they're just guiding me to like the places that I know I want to be, especially when it comes to people that I don't know. They automatically just have my back because like, no, that person is not going to be for you. I'm not saying that every time I meet a stranger, I'm going to let them dictate how I'm going to play out the relationship, because there are some things that I, whether it's like information wise or just life tips or just having fun, like I'll keep them for that. But if there's just something that I know and that they feel is just not right, automatic no. So I thank her for that day, for just getting me away from that stranger, because who knows what would have happened if I went with him on that sushi date, he called it.
Sushi?
He's like, I'm eating fish.
Yeah,
let me get both of you guys take on it. What? And then I'll move on. I have one more question and move on to segment 2.
So growing up, I saw older people. I was in high school and I was seeing someone who was in his mid-20s. And then I also had a 3-year relationship with someone when I was 18 and they were in their early 30s. So kind of, I hate the word victim, but I was a partial victim of grooming and all of that kind of stuff. So age, for me personally, I guess it doesn't necessarily matter, but kind of touching on what other people have said, like if you're still in high school, man, leave them alone.
Stay away.
Leave them alone. Cause
it always matters.
Nope. It's because, I'm like, you go through a different, like, mindset change the minute that you graduate and you go through that summer bullshit of fuck around and find out, and then you start either school again or you go back and you kind of start a career, or you go and work at McDonald's because you don't know what you want to do. I'm like, until they're graduated and they're out of high school, just leave them alone.
Yeah.
And stuff. But like in dealing with all of the bullshit of, being with someone when you're not even 20 yet and someone who's in their 30s, it's with my experience, because of how kind of fucked up I was in the situation, it was kind of needed. But towards the end of the relationship, it turned into more of a grooming and a shit show, and me not being able to do what I need to do. Like, yeah, controlling and manipulative, really. But yeah, so like, I want to say that it depends on the situation, and it kind of does, and it always depends on the person, right? Because everybody is different depending on where you are. You know, same thing with Gabby. Like, it depends on the path, on where you are, and everything like that. So, but yeah, that's really it.
Okay. I think that 3 to 4 years is probably the gap I would do. I do think that people throw their morals out the window when someone has something to provide. Like you were saying, if you have your shit together, then someone's probably more likely to fall for it. If you want to be lazy and you don't want to provide for yourself, then you're gonna go with the person who can provide for you, right?
We're trying to be on yachts.
Yeah,
exactly.
We're trying to be on yachts.
But then the thing is, in life, you don't get to paint your own canvas. Then you're on someone else's canvas. So you, like you said, you feel like your own value. You won't validate yourself, if that makes sense, because then you're just gonna be mooching off someone else at the end of the day. Yeah. So 3 to 4 years for me. Yeah.
All right. Let me hit you guys with this question here, and I'm not gonna go in any order. You guys just. I want each one of you all to think of your best opposite sex friend.
Oh.
Okay.
Easy.
Yo, that's my motherfucker right there, Nicole Clark over here. That's my motherfucking
homie. You might have fucked up, but hold on. No, okay, so everybody have it in your head?
We're so hungry.
You have it in your head?
Yeah, I'm still pondering.
Best male friend, best female friend, best male friend, best male friend, best male friend, best male friend, best
Can I do two?
Female.
No, it has to be the opposite
This
sex.
is my male.
Wait, what's the question?
No,
And
this is
I'm his
I know, I'm
female.
gonna give you the question. I just want you to think of them.
Okay.
Can I please go to the bathroom?
No, just
I know. I'm like hearing it.
I just want you all to think
right at
of
me.
the best friend. Are you ready for the question?
Yeah.
I had it in my sleep earlier.
Is there any chance that you would get with that person?
No. You're sick.
Fuck no. No. No way in chance.
Honestly, I don't think I have one.
You don't have a male best friend?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Respect.
You can take mine. I'm leaving in a week.
Oh, you
What about
trying
you,
to give me
Malak?
away so quick.
I don't think so.
You don't have a male best friend?
Or I have a male best friend, but
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't get with him.
I don't think I'd get with him. No.
No?
I have a male best friend. He's great. I'm not gonna lie, I made a pact with him when we were like 15. I was like, if we're still single at like 30, I was telling you this earlier. I told him, I was like, if we're still single at like 30, we're gonna get married. And he was like, I'm down. And then, I hit 22 and I was like, okay, actually, you know what, I need some time. So we reframed. We're like, maybe like 40, if we're still single. At 40, maybe we'll get married. But like,
Oh, you pushed that poor guy back even farther. He's still a virgin. He's still like cranking them off in the bathroom in a sock.
no, it's not like that. But like, real
just
shit.
hurting.
Right
You
now,
weren't
like
even
if he was
30,
to come up to
dude.
me or vice versa, right now, there's no way that we would get together.
You can always be my.
Dude, do you have a picture
probably,
for us?
maybe not.
I'll show you afterwards.
Okay. Bree?
This is just me personally, but like, if like I got that close to you as a friend, like you're my friend, right? There's probably not a chance that I'd be with you if I like let you in that part of vulnerability to be my friend. Like if I saw you as a love option, I would have made a move way sooner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I love you to this extent, but like more than that, I would have like shown you. Unless like something changes later, like I think everyone is constantly changing. But for me, like that's my mind right now. I don't think I would ever do that. I don't think I would ever do that.
Who are you talking about?
My best friend,
Him?
Drew Medill. I've known him for like 9 years now, I think. So like we kind of grew up together, but I don't think I would ever.
Interesting.
Yeah, because like why,
Yeah.
why do that?
Trust me, I've asked her before and she's like,
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
What about you?
Like, so I have two because they're brothers, and I met them at the same time and stuff. So they're both. I'm good friends with both of them.
Off interesting.
I know, and I want to say that I'm that girl. I'm like, no, I didn't do anything with them. But in a moment of weakness in your high school days, we ended up making out and stuff.
Both of them?
No, not both of them. Jesus
Both of
fuck.
them?
Jesus fuck. No. Christ,
Another
Christ
one
almighty.
held it over the
Christ
other one's
almighty.
head forever.
No,
Like,
God,
yeah, I made
no.
out with
No,
it.
God, no.
Okay.
So I'm like, because of that, I want to say I want to say yes because of that previous thing, but at the same time, knowing who they are now and stuff like that, I'm gonna say no. So to put it in the middle, I don't know.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
We know.
I know. Like I don't know.
We know. Invite them over.
No, they live up north.
Yes.
I don't think I would, just because the chicks I talk to, if they're strictly friends, I don't even think about having sex with them or fucking them.
Fair
But
enough.
If it was one of those things where she was attractive, and it would just be different, because from the get-go, I know there's something to it. You know what
You're
I mean?
like friends.
Yeah. We'll see what happens if it's someone I'm okay with possibly not talking to again because of what happens after, maybe. But if it's someone I want to keep around, I probably wouldn't hook up with them.
Fair.
That's valid.
And if you're not trying to talk to them
Yeah.
after, then that's not your girl best friend anyways.
Yeah.
Then you know
Yeah.
she was fake from the
Yeah.
get-go.
The little twinkles.
Yeah.
All right.
I know the ops mad, I'm getting money and I'm flexing.